Thank you for tuning in to the My Positive Perspective Internet Show today, where we feature individuals and groups who share the common goal of improving the local Charleston community. Today's episode is brought to you by Gatorade, a great way to quench your thirst. Joining me on today's episode is Pastor Gordon Cashwell. So how you doing, Gordon?
Good. Thanks again for having me.
Thanks for being here. Yes.
Appreciate your show and everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. And then we wanted to talk about a book you recently published called The Coming Storm. This is the cover of the book. Could you maybe just talk a little bit about how you got the idea to write a book about this and the execution of it?
Well, and I think someone once said there's a book inside of everybody, and you certainly have written a book. What's the name of your book again?
Return from the
And that's a really good book because people go through so many things in life. They have to be restored. They have to bounce back.
Yes.
And I think our country is in that situation. I think a lot of people know it. Where our foundations are being shaken. And that's kind of what the book is about. It gives a strategy for, quote-unquote, taking America back. But it's a strategy people wouldn't normally think of. But what happened to me to bringing me to this case was a lot of very strange things that I think, and I believe very much in God. Not everybody does, but I believe He leads me. And one day He told me I should take martial arts, and I it didn't sound like a godly thing. But I asked him to give it to me free if it was for him, and someone called me and said they wanted to come teach at our church, and then someone else called me and said, I think you're supposed to know about this dojo next to our church, and they're going to give you free, go talk to, and then the guy gave me free martial arts training, and then someone told me I needed to contact someone from Clemson about learning gardening because there's disasters coming to America, we need to learn gardening, and I didn't know who to call, and someone mentioned the lady's name, and I felt the Spirit of God tell me, look on my phone, where her number was on my phone. Okay. And I'm like, how did that get on my phone? And I called her. She was an atheist. She said she didn't know me. She said, but when you called, you came up as my gardening coordinator. And she said, I don't understand this, but I'll work with you. And then later that day when she called me, she tried to call her gardening coordinator, and it called my phone. Wow. And she said, I don't get this. And then the Lord told me to go ahead and start building rain barrels. So I said, well, how do I do that? He said, well, call this church in Columbia. And I called them, and I said, I need some money. And they're like, what are you trying to get? I said, I'm trying to get rain barrels. They said, how many do you want? And I said, I want to get 30 of them. And they said, well, we got some at our church. Come pick them up. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know how I was going to get them down. And I prayed about it. And the guy said he had a Friday off, and he's our janitorial delivery guy. And they contacted him. And he brought them down. And I didn't know how to make them into rain barrels. I've got all these plastic barrels now. Yeah. So I prayed about that. And the Spirit of God told me to go to the aquarium. And Monday, I didn't have enough money to take my kids, but he said, go anyway, I'll get you in. I went down there, and they just let me in. I didn't have enough money. They said, you can come in. And my neighbor works there, and he was talking to me about, hey, we make rain barrels now. Did you know that? I said, really? He said, yeah, so he took me down and showed me how they made rain barrels, introduced me to someone else from Clemson. Mm-hmm. And I had probably, in this book, is the stories about 20 things happening to me, everything to do with survival, blacksmithing, weapons, all this stuff. And then he said, then it was issues, all the things about the gay marriage and some of the other rights that are being taken away, the HHS mandate. Before it even happened, I kind of knew, and it was a warning. And so he asked me to write a book to warn people and give them a strategy of going back to the foundation of this country. Mm-hmm. And so that's what the book's about. It's a warning. It's miraculous. I mean, we had 400 and some outreaches in a row every other Saturday and other big outreaches where it didn't rain at all. We prayed. And a lot of signs that God's given along the way. And it's a pointing to the fact that we either got to get ready or we got to take this country back, or both. And I kind of think it's both at this point. Right.
Well, how long did it take you to write the author of the book or write the manuscript?
Well, what happened was I was keeping a journal, and a lot of it was being written by the journal. And that's a good thing. I mean, if people are listening today, keep a journal. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, your life is a story. Yes. Everybody's life is a story. Certainly. And some people don't think, well, my life isn't all that. God may have something very special for you to deliver to others.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's written down and it's published, no one can ever take that away. You could die, anything could happen, but your words that you wrote down that were an important message, and maybe today's show could be too, encouraging people to write a book.
Right.
And so it took, once I decided that, hey, this was, the journals, the stories and stuff were important to be a book, man, it took a while. It took me about probably 6 months to a year. And what I had to do, because I was busy with my family and my work, I had to stay up late, get up earlier, and make those times. Someone said, there's me time is like 5 in the morning or from 10 till 12. It's times when I'm not taking away from my family and my job. I had to take those times and say, I'm just going to miss a little bit of sleep. It's, to me, I think everyone can see it's perilous times. No matter what your perspective is, which we hope we have a positive perspective, we know that things are changing in our country. And if it's not upsetting you a little bit or somehow at least disheveling your life a little bit, then I think you're not paying attention. So you have to, I think right now is the time we're called to burn the candle on both ends, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, and of course, you mentioned this before. Everybody has the opportunity to stand up and have their voices being heard. And if there's something, in this going on that's troubling you, like you said, make a note about that, and maybe there'll come a time when that experience really serves as a great example for others, and maybe a life lesson too. And I think that's what your book does.
Right, write a book. Don't just put on Facebook and complain about the way the country's going or what happened in life. Go to your representative. I think it's so easy today. Imagine being on horseback and not having TVs or anything. Now we can go on the internet, click on somebody's name or click on a bunch of names and send them one message over email. And those representatives do listen to those things. And it's the positive people like you and this show getting them positive. They're the ones that sometimes aren't as vocal because we're busy doing constructive stuff.
Yeah.
We need to get an internet show like you. We need to get out there and let people know our opinion, because if not, the people of other opinion are going to get that out. And sometimes it's to me it's a lot easier to go downhill than up. So I could have a downhill attitude, and it's a lot easier for me just to slide, get depressed or yell about something or get angry. I don't like this. I'm protesting. It's a lot harder to build a country, to build something positive, and to stand up for what's right. But we need to do it now.
Yeah.
One of the great ways is by writing a book or writing something.
Yeah.
Like The Coming Storm, which you can get on Amazon.com.
Right, there you go. Cool. So The Coming Storm is published now, like that? Yeah, published now on Amazon.com. So check that out, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning.
Gordon Cashwell. Because there's more than one Coming Storm out there. So look for my name, Gordon Cashwell, The Coming Storm.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. No problem. Well, you're the author of the book, so that makes perfect sense. So, thank y'all for tuning in to the My Positive Perspective Internet Show. Thanks, and have a great day.
On a sunny day, I feel my thoughts drift away. Only good vibes and good times living in my brain. On a sunny day, catch me lamping in the shade, feeling so fine and so high. Oh, my sunny day, still I hope all my efforts will one day pan out. The love within you'll never be without. So I roll, feeling strong and so